Okay, so good evening, everyone, and a special welcome to our session today. Today's session is a particularly important one because generally human beings today experience a high level of stress and anxiety, and it keeps increasing, all right? And many factors can contribute to that. The topic we're looking at today is only one of those factors. It's only one, but by paying attention to balance, we are able to reduce our stress and anxiety. All right, so I invite you to pay close attention, but if there's anything that you feel you get stuck with, don't stay there for too long. This session is recorded, and everyone here will receive a copy of the recording, so you could always replay it at your convenience. So sit back with an open mind and enjoy. So some more tips for this session. So please keep your mic muted unless invited to share. At the end of the session, I will unmute the mics. Well, I will unlock the mic, so you will be able to share. I will invite you to do so. During the session, feel free to write any questions and comments in the chat. I will pick it up at some point, and questions and comments are always incredibly helpful for the other participants. Do take some notes for your future reference. And in writing your comments in the chat and even in your sharing, always be respectful and kind to others. This is a safe space and a respectful, a kind, a nurturing, and a healing space. So we want to all contribute to this type of space, right? And do listen and engage with an open mind that is willing to learn. We have all learned so many things in our lifetimes, and depending on our age, some of us have learned a lot more than others, and there is always room to learn something new. Always room. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Steve Sankar. I'm a certified transformation life coach with 20 plus years of leadership experience in the corporate world. I'm an expert in mindset change and empowerment, and many of the clients who I serve will be able to share that with you, their experiences. And I provide dedicated support for human growth and transformation. When we think of dedicated support, I provide support on a one-on-one basis that is unique to each person, what their goals are and what the challenges are being experienced in the now. So I always consider these classes as an opportunity to share and to create a community to support. This is not a transactional matter for me. I do not have this class and invite everyone to join. When we think of, each class, over 100 people register. Today, 125 plus people have registered. So it's not me giving this with any expectation in return. So when I say to you, feel free to get in touch with me if you think that you require support to overcome stress, anxiety, to achieve your goals, to build up your mindset, to change your life. Do not believe that because you've joined the session that I'm offering that to you. I'm not doing that. This is not a transaction. This is kindness and love from my heart. This is a reflection of who I am. All right? When we think of our session tonight, we'll be looking at balance, what it is and what it's not. Many people have misconceptions about what balance is, but it really isn't that. It really isn't that. So we would look at some of those today. And in a previous session, we would have spoken about limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and what it's not is a limiting belief. That's our own self-doubt. We look at the life-changing benefits of balance and some simple steps, some tools, some techniques on how to achieve it, all right? I'd like to first share with you a little example. So when we think of a life with balance, think of a boat on the ocean. Without balance, the experience of the boat could be as if there's a storm, as if nature is trying to push the boat under the water. And when there is balance in our life, we experience normal seas. Not necessarily calm, smooth, still seas. Normal seas with waves that we could maneuver and we could get to our destination. All right? Implementing balance in our life can certainly increase our peace of mind, our life, our joy, our experience of life in a very profound way. Not everyone in this world is experiencing a life of stress and anxiety and depression right now. There are many people who do not have that life experience. And everyone can by doing what is right for themselves. Some of the common beliefs, misconceptions that we have about what a balanced life is that it means we equally distribute our time in the different areas of our life. But that's not what balance is. It's about finding the right mix for each of us, right? So it may not always be an equal amount of time for every activity, no. But it's finding that balance, knowing what is the amount of time that I spend on the different areas in my life. And to do that, it's always about what our goals are, what we're trying to achieve. And we will get into that later in the session. But it doesn't mean a balance in terms of the equal distribution of time, how I spend my day. It's not a one-time achievement. No, our life keeps changing. Each day is a different day. No 2 days in our life are the same. No 2 days are the same. Each day we're a different person from the day we were before because of our thoughts and our experiences. All right? So it's not a one-time achievement. If I create balance in my life now, because life keeps changing, I have to keep maintaining that balance. Keep maintaining that balance. And the balance doesn't mean doing everything. No way. We can create a list of 100 things that we need to get done each day, but balance doesn't mean doing everything. It involves prioritizing the things that I need to do. And sometimes we can say, if I take a rest, I'm lazy. No, no, that's being misguided. We need rest. Human beings need to rest. We need to rest more than we actually think we need to rest. And rest here, not just rest with the body, right? People often think that balance means a lack of stress, no stress. While that can happen for some people, it may not happen for everyone. Balance will mean a lower level of stress than if I didn't have balance. It could be the difference between me managing levels of stress at home in a satisfactory way versus having to go and see a doctor for medicine. All right? Balance is not the same for everyone. So what balance would look like for Peter, it won't look like that for Frank. No. It's a different thing because we are all different. It's highly personal, and it varies depending on our goals, our values, and the different circumstances that we have in our life. Balance does not mean being perfect. No. It just means flexibility and self-compassion, allowing me to learn from my experiences and also making room for the different challenges that I have in myself. We all have little imperfections, small ones. Don't consider them big ones. They're small ones. Let's look at them as small, and let's look at them as fixable. We all have them, and we have to navigate life while dealing with them. Balance is certainly not only about time management. It involves our energy, boundaries, our mental and emotional well-being. All of those things get in the way. It's not only about time. And balance is not a luxury. Some people believe that balance only comes with having a particular type of job where I have flexibility or having money. That's not what balance is about. These factors can help, but balance can be pursued by anyone and achieved by anyone. And the last one I'd like to share with you is that we think once balanced, we're always balanced. No, no. It's work in progress every day. It's work in progress. And that goes back to thinking it's a one-time achievement. You know, we change each day, life changes, and achieving balance and maintaining balance is ongoing effort and adaptation to life. So anytime we believe we have any of these coming up in our mind about what we think balance is, we want to reframe it with compassion. We want to change that belief into one that supports us. And I know we would have looked at that in a previous session. Balance in life is harmony with the various aspects of my life. Harmony that I am able to navigate life. I'm able to have my days in such a way, experience my days where everything works. Everything works. I don't feel as if I'm fighting every day. When we think of how life can feel sometimes, it's like if we're trying to push a boulder up a hill, there are so many demands on my time. So many people have requests. There are so many things that are important for my well-being that I need to get done. And I could feel like if it's trying to push me over, right? But balance means harmony in the various aspects of my life. And it means managing time, managing energy, managing all my resources to achieve overall well-being, satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy. I'd like to share with you what I believe for me balance in my life will look like on a given day. When I think about my plan for the day, the things I'd like to get done, so many of us might have a routine in terms of our day looks a particular way on most days. So as I go through that day, my emotions are manageable. I am able to achieve the different objectives. I don't feel stressed and anxious. And at the end of the day, I could look at how I spent my day and know that my time, my energy, my efforts went towards contributing my goal. Think of like a company, an organization. An organization each year will set its corporate goals. And throughout the year, every day, all the efforts, all the resources are directed towards achieving those goals. When we think about our own life, we ought to have goals. Because if we don't have goals, then what are we working towards? Is it that my life will just end up wherever the people around me decide, or whatever the big picture dynamics in the world? We're living in a world with so many challenges. Is it that the world is going to determine what my destiny is, or am I going to be the author of my destiny? And we should all choose to be the author of our destiny. That we have a say in our life's trajectory in terms of how we go and where we go. So each of us, we want to do that and not leave that for chance. When we think of some of the pillars, so think of the support, the things that support what we consider a balanced life. I have 5 of them I'd like to share with you. The first one is mental and emotional well-being. I'm going to pull up a slide because I do create some slides to share. Mental and emotional well-being. So when we think of the pillars, when you think of a balanced life, below this is what supports it. So these are the things you will find present in a balanced life. Mental and emotional well-being. As a result of how we have planned our life, the result is mental and emotional well-being. We live in a world where the prevalence of mental illness keeps going up. It's said 1 in 5 people experience some form of mental illness. So there are 42 of us on right now. So that's 8 of us, according to statistics, right? So we can try and move out of the 8 and not be in there. The other one is physical health. Part of our life effort must be to take care of our body, right? Health can be considered wealth in the world we're living in. If you do not have chronic illnesses with your body, you are very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. Not many people who are mature can say that they don't have illnesses. They don't have illnesses. Honoring your purpose and values, your life's purpose, what you want for your life, and the things that you value, your beliefs. So having a balanced life includes honoring your values, your beliefs, and your purpose. You will also have boundaries in a balanced life. Boundaries with people, boundaries with things, boundaries with time, boundaries with emotions. Boundaries with emotions. Boundaries that help protect us. And you will be managing yourself in such a way that you are the one who's in control of you during the day, not others. Not others. Others don't decide what you do, what you think, what you feel, and how you act. No, it's not about that. I have to be the one who's in charge of my destiny. I'm the one who determines how I spend my day. And for some people might think that that's a fallacy, but that's a reality in this world. There are many people who manage themselves sufficiently during the day that they're able to go about and accomplish their goals. We just have to learn how to if we don't. And finally, having a healthy connection with myself and others. No negative self-talk, no complaining, no worrying, no trying to get revenge. No, viewing myself with love and regard will minimize me wanting to do that. When I can see myself through eyes of love and compassion, I would never do things that move me away from my peace of mind and my happiness. Things like worrying, anxiety, trying to get revenge. That takes us away from our peace of mind and our happiness. A peaceful mind, a happy mind, will never try to harm anybody, including myself. So that's what we want. And in terms of our connections with others, we want healthy connections and we want those others to be good for us, not bad. Good company. Adults pay a lot of attention to the type of company that kids keep. But as adults, we always make leeway for bad company. And when I say bad company, company that moves us away from our goals, company that gets us into trouble, company that we learn bad things from. And there's no shortage of bad things we could learn in the world, right? So I have a little exercise that I'd like us to do. We have many different areas of our life. And I'd like us to look at 8 today. And just give 2 minutes. Just you choose any of the 8 you'd like to look at. Just give 2 minutes and see where you believe some balance requires. We require balance or balance. Attention is required to balance. I have a dog here with me, and she clearly wants to be in the class. So please forgive me for being distracted. So take 2 minutes, please, and look at these areas in the life and see where you believe some balance is required. And what could tell you that balance is required, attention is required to balance there, is that you could feel some friction. You can feel like you're not moving forward with that particular area or areas. So look for friction. Many adults don't even consider having fun, don't even consider fun as a part of their life. But we need fun. We are kids that grew up. That's all we are as adults. It's kids that grew up. And, there are those who believe that that child is still alive in us. And when we think of fun and recreation, it's easy to think that life is too busy and that there's no room for that. There's no space, there's no time. But there's a price to pay for that. There's a price that we pay for that. Like I have started making a conscious decision that every month I go to the beach twice. I go and I spend some time. And it could be with company or it could be with myself. I love going to the beach by myself. I see it as very healing and therapeutic. Another thing that I've been looking at lately is my physical health. So 3 weeks ago, I joined the gym. So I've started going 3, 4 days a week now, and I could feel the difference because, this body will be 49 years this year. Next year, I'll be 50. And I want this body to support me as long as I'm alive. I want a good body that works, and I will have a good body that works if I give attention to it. And it's the same for every one of us. Balance matters to have a good quality life. It doesn't happen naturally for everyone. But if we do not pay attention to having a balanced life, the consequences can be dire. Balance brings improved mental clarity, so clearer thinking. It allows for deep thinking. Many people cannot think deeply anymore. Sit somewhere and spend 30 minutes or an hour working on something, or sitting in a group meeting, a meeting with family, with people in the community, and for 2 hours and you can't even focus. No, it increases mental clarity and it reduces anxiety. The anxiety comes from feeling overwhelmed all the time with dealing with life's responsibilities. So balance reduces anxiety and stress. It increases productivity without burnout. So we are able to move forward in the different areas of our life, be very productive, be even more productive, and not feel burnout because there is balance, there is attention to my well-being. It also improves relationships with people. If I'm always on the edge and I'm always frustrated and I'm always stressed, what's going to be the quality of my interactions? How are people going to experience me? Not joyfully. They're not going to even want to be around me. People should want to be around me. My energy should be good. Let people feel supported. Bringing back up the slides. And finally, greater joy, energy, and improved sense of fulfillment in life. Think for a moment that your life is full of joy, that your energy is good and high every day, that you have a feeling of fulfillment. Create that life. You can create that life. You are the one to do it. And while I was at the gym yesterday, I was hearing a they were playing a soca song by Marshall Montano, an old one. And it's um, one that I know from my earlier days, and I thought I'd include it for us. Um, and the part of it was all work and no play. But then I remembered the saying that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And many of us might have heard this as we were growing up. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Or when you think of a life of joy and fulfillment and happiness, there's a lot of play in there, a lot of play. And think for a moment, how much time, how much time in your life do you dedicate towards recreation and having fun? There are some simple ways that I'd like to share with you to create balance in your life. One is setting priorities and goals based on the things that matter to you and for you. So let your goals and priorities as you go through life every day reflect what matters to you. Each of us, within us, there are things that we believe and we value. When we honor our values and our beliefs, we have a more successful life. So let how we spend our life, priorities and goals reflect our values and our beliefs. Don't let our priorities and goals reflect other people's values and beliefs. A second one is learning to say no and setting boundaries with others. As long as people can ask you to do something and your answer is always yes, you can't be achieving your goals. You'll be helping everyone achieve their own goals, not yourself. So they are succeeding and you are staying right behind. And having boundaries, boundaries that you don't cross and that others don't cross. Another way is time blocking, that you set aside time slots in your life where you get the things done that are important for you. You know, we can't make time and we can't manage time. We can manage ourselves and how we use our time. So create blocks of time. It's called time blocking. Create blocks of time in your life, in your day, where you can get the things done that are really important for you. Incorporate micro practices, tiny little ones, to support you each day, like mindful breathing, taking a pause, a digital pause from all the technology, all the screens, 1 minute journaling. You could take a moment, a minute, and journal about things that are important for you, maybe how you're spending your day, things that are happening. And the one that I encourage is a meditation minute. You take a minute to center the mind. Finally, energy management, managing our energy. Our energy is not an unlimited supply. And it means managing the thoughts, the feelings, having adequate rest, and watching who we spend our time with, because there are some people who can soak our energy. They will absorb it. When you finish with them, you're no good. I invite you this time to take a moment to think about one small change that you could make this week to invite more balance into your life. One small change that you can make this week to bring more balance into your life. So at this time, I invite anyone to share. So we're at the end of our session. I invite you to share what your experience has been based on what I've been sharing and what you've been thinking. So I've unlocked the mic. So anyone, I invite you to take the opportunity to share briefly for a minute so we could stick to time.
I really benefited from the illustration at the beginning with the ballast, but that even with the ballast, vessel, the waters will remain choppy. That perspective is important. It's never going to be a smooth ride. So set my expectations, and then it will make it easier to cope.
Beautiful. Well done, Michelle. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's all, Larry, would you like to share something?
Yes, I think managing time mostly for me is the technology. So the technology that's with you always, the telephone, the cellular. So I'm putting more time blocks on that because that drains your energy without you knowing it. So that's something I am trying to do every day. When I wake up, don't look at it. And before I go to sleep a couple of hours, don't look at it. Very important.
Well done. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And I believe many of us, if we are open and honest with ourselves, we might recognize that there's a small problem with how we use technology and our phones. So really, really good one there. Thank you for sharing, Larry. And I'd like to leave you with a final thought. That balance isn't something that you find, it's something you create. Balance isn't something that you find, it's something that you create. So I thank you all so much for being present, for joining me, and look out for the recording. And I look forward to seeing you all next month for our next class. I always appreciate when you complete the registration forms that you put in the different things, different topics you believe we could look at. And that is something that I pay attention to. So I will keep creating sessions that you find topical and meaningful, okay? So I wish you every success with creating balance in your life. And I'll take the opportunity to congratulate you in advance for your success. So congratulations in advance for creating the balance in your life. So you all stay happy, have a wonderful night, and see you all again. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.